For more than 35 years, a dedicated group of volunteers has been producing the show Image India with us.
So here in Edmonton, we're continuing our Hometown Heroes party with some Bollywood flair.
In the next 30 minutes, you'll see what 10 years of dedicated volunteerism looks like. Hear the stories of a home where the soup is hot and the smiles are heartwarming. Find out how building homes is an investment that keeps on giving. And in a community where 33% of the population can't read, we meet the volunteers who are trying to change that.
Hi everyone, I'm Dana Giesbrecht.
And I'm Brianne McLaughlin.
And thanks for joining us here in Edmonton, Alberta for our Bollywood-themed party. We have some very special guests of honor that we're going to be celebrating today and showing you some of the amazing volunteers from this side of the country. But first, a little bit about ourselves. Brianne, tell our viewers about yourself.
Well, I'm a recent volunteer here at Shaw in Edmonton, so I've been learning a lot from the great team like Dana, so far so good.
Good, and what have you learned from us?
Oh, I've learned a ton, a lot about on-air skills, on-air presentation, editing, shooting skills, anything I want to learn, they help me out with.
And you're also producing your own mini doc.
Yeah, correct. I'm doing a show called Galas and Giving where we profile local charity events that help give back to those in need.
There we go. And my name is Dana Giesbrecht, and I've been hosting and producing with Shaw TV and Shaw Media for the last 5 years. Now, what are we wearing? You're probably asking yourselves that. Brianne, why don't you tell our guests?
She explained to me that these are traditional Indian saris, so we're quite lucky to be wearing them, I guess.
Very beautiful silk garments. Now, the reason we're wearing saris and throwing a Bollywood-themed party is Image India is an access show that's been volunteering with Shaw TV Edmonton for 35 years. And we're going to start the show with a look at this organization.
Image India, it's all about our Indian culture, music, dance, and our culinary, excitement. Hello, welcome to Cooking with Radha. It will whistle 2 more times and I'll shut it off, okay? I do vegetarian cooking, and we have, Image India has done about 100 recipes we have done.
One thing I have to tell you, Image India doesn't mean image of India alone. It's the image of the community here.
So that people know what's going on, but our programs are all Indian. Whatever is happening, that is happening in town, we go and shoot dances or the talk shows or interviews, and we have also done big conferences like a human rights conference and anything to do with the multicultural, because the children who are born and brought up here, they don't have any Indian background. So what we do, we bring India here and then we televise it and people see it and see what is happening around the city. And the best part of our lives, our age we spent with Image India. The great about this show for us is a good hobby for us. It's a good let out. We want to show people what is happening, what is Indian culture. And also, I have to say this, we could not have done all this without the support of the Shaw and then our volunteers and the Shaw volunteers, Image India volunteers, they have been great. We have to say that if Shaw hasn't given this platform to us, I don't think we would have done such a good job. And then we haven't missed not even one show over the 35 years.
I will never say what next because it depends on the community here.
Community theatre groups across Canada rely on volunteers, many of whom work quietly behind the scenes.
But as Jenny Fortin discovers, their work is front and center when the curtain rises.
Oh my, look at those poor scissors. I'm surprised they even work.
I've had them probably over 15 years, and they're sad because my dog chewed them up, but they were a great pair of cutting scissors, so my dad fixed them, and they recently did fall apart again.
Well, if these scissors could speak, they'd tell a tale. A tale of hungry dogs of cutting up the most bizarre materials and having a helping hand in creating the most wonderful theater props.
Oh yeah, they're in my little drawer in my kitchen all the time. But today they are traveling with me because I'm here at the theater and doing some last minute work for Wizard of Oz.
Like a lot of things around here, we use everything till the very end, and a lot of the props that Hanel has in her, that she brings out to the plays like the Wizard of Oz, have been used over and over and refashioned in some way from another play that we did in the past, maybe even 10 or 15 years ago.
And as Hanel rifles through the prop room at the Capitol Theater, she looks back at the last 15 years of volunteering with a smile and warm heart.
She's one of my favorites. I guess you look at things with sort of a different eye and you sort of say, especially here at the theater, seeing the audience appreciate what you've done, that's the reward, and it's just a way to connect with people and be a part of something.
But Hanel isn't alone. There's more than one pea in a pod at this theater. In fact, the Portal Players Dramatic Society is based on volunteers.
We have a countless number of volunteers, many of whom form a core group of volunteers. And we're fortunate to have other people from the community coming along at different times and helping out with different plays or different productions that go on here. So volunteerism is the name of the game that keeps this place going.
We could all be at home sitting on our couches watching TV or playing on the computer or on our iPad, or we could be down here interacting with other people and doing something important. And I think the arts are very important.
When you have people like Hanel that can help you along and encourage you and take you as part of the group, no matter who you are or what your skills are, it's a pretty amazing thing we have here at the Capitol Theater.
As for Hanel and her gnarly scissors, they look forward to their next big project in the Capitol Theater Props Department.
Oh, just volunteering in general, it almost always makes you feel better about yourself and about your day, so I think that's what it's all about.
In Port Alberni, I'm Jenny Fortin.
We have some more features on volunteers coming up in just a second, but we're taking a moment to talk to one of our Shaw TV Edmonton volunteers. This is Sarah Torkley, and you've been working on a show called Pinner Uppers with us. Tell our audience about that show.
So basically, Shaw's been giving me the opportunity to create and produce my own reality show, and it is called The Making of the Pinner Uppers. It's a great show that takes local talent here in Edmonton, and we form it together to try to create a professional troupe that we can perform and dance nationwide.
Awesome, and you're a dancer yourself by trade. You've been dancing for 18 years. How did you get started? You've had some big career milestones as well.
Yeah, so when I first started my professional career, I had the opportunity to go on So You Think You Can Dance Canada, season 1 and 2. And then when I got back to Edmonton, I decided to open up my own studio. So that's kind of how the whole ball got rolling.
And how old were you then when you first started dancing? I'm going to give away your age.
Oh goodness, I was 3.
You were 3?
I was 3 when I started.
Wow, and what kinds of dancing have you been taking over the years?
Tap, jazz, ballet, lyrical hip hop, and then obviously the newfound love is burlesque right now.
That's the type of show that Pinner Uppers is. It fuses some different forms of dance, burlesque being one of them. What have you learned with the process of making this show?
It's a crazy creative process. I have so much respect for the behind the scenes of the editors, the scripters, the writers, the cameramen. I mean, it's quite an undertaking, and I'm really excited to be a part of it.
Do you think you would ever have an opportunity like this if Shaw TV didn't provide access to people like yourself?
No, I don't. I think here locally, for them to be able to do this and offer this out to the community is huge, and I'm very thankful for it.
Well, we're all excited to see Pinner Uppers when it's all finished and completed. What kind of deadline are you working on right now?
Right now, we're still going to be filming over the next 8 to 10 months, so I'm hoping right before the new year we'll be able to launch it.
Wow, long-term plan for that show.
Yeah, I have really big dreams for it. I always think like this, so I'm excited to see what the future brings.
And what would you say to other people watching who might have a great idea like yourself, who want to make that dream a reality? Come to Shaw and see what we can do for you.
Definitely. If you have any kind of concept or idea that you think is going to flow, totally contact Shaw right away. They'll totally support you and help out.
Sarah, thanks so much.
Thank you.
In Alberta, 54.7% of the population volunteers an average of 140 hours per year.
Up next, a Fort McMurray non-for-profit organization wants to thank a very special volunteer for 25 years of service.
Volunteers are the lifeline of nonprofit organizations, and without their support, nonprofits would not succeed. I've heard this mantra professed on many occasions, and I certainly have said it myself. I truly do believe it. However, in the case of a very special lady, Cora Verkel, these words have never ringed more true. Cora, I met you on one of my first days as a staff member of the Northern Lights Health Foundation. The executive director at the time told me about you before meeting. She raved about what a wonderful, dedicated volunteer you are. After meeting you, it became immediately apparent just how true this statement is. Cora, as a volunteer of the Northern Lights family since 1982, you are truly appreciated. You tirelessly support and improve patient comfort at the Northern Lights Regional Health Center by running our used book bin program, which raises funds that are used to purchase small toiletry items and clothing that some patients find themselves in need of. You are also known to deliver newspapers and magazines to all areas of the health center, which provide patients with what may be the only link they have to what is going on in our community and the world around them. I've also seen you respond to every request we've made for volunteers needed to support the Health Foundation's various special events. This volunteer service in itself is invaluable, but it is not the most valuable thing you bring to the Northern Lights Health Foundation. That most valuable thing is that you give your warm heart, bright smile, and zest for life. You share your vibrant energy, interesting and often hilarious stories, and your loving nature with all of us who are lucky enough to be around you. I can honestly say that on more than one occasion, you have made me laugh out loud, lifted my spirits, and reinforced my faith in humanity. The regional municipality of Wood Buffalo has been very fortunate to have such an outstanding citizen in our community. You, Cora, are the perfect example of what our community is. It is giving, it is dedicated to improving the lives of others, it stands the test of time, and it does so with grace and dignity, just like you. I'm proud to call you my friend and one of the most dedicated volunteers I've ever had the privilege to meet. Thank you on behalf of the Northern Lights Health Foundation team. We love you. Suzanne and team.
Well, the party continues here in Edmonton, but there's lots of glitz and glamour to look forward to in Nanaimo.
That's right, Dana. We're here in our studio with a red carpet affair in celebration of a very long-running show called The Show. And as you can tell by the energy in the room behind me here, it is the hottest ticket in town.
Well, we'll check in with another party in just a minute, but first, with so many events going on in the city of Chilliwack, it can be easy to forget the dedicated volunteers who make it all possible.
Here's one member of the Chilliwack Lions Club who's made it possible for more than 10 years.
A community is only as great as its volunteers. At least that's what Madeline Lange believes. For the past 10 years, Madeline has been putting her time and effort into helping out a number of events throughout Chilliwack, including the Music and Dance Festival.
We have been in operation for 67 years. It was first a music festival, and then dance came on board. And we run dance, it started February the 4th, and we run dance for about 2.5 to 3 weeks. And the other 3 weeks are music. So there's piano, strings, guitar, choral, choirs, voice. That's the music section. And the dance is tap, ballet, jazz, street dance. And right now we are doing tap.
For Madeline, helping out at the music festival goes beyond her community pride. It also has a personal meaning to her.
Well, I have 3 daughters. One of them danced. So to me, it's just giving a little bit back to the community. And after you've done this job for a long time and been here working, you get to know the parents, you get to see the kids, you know, the little ones coming up dancing, or the musicians from the time they're little right up until they're adults now.
Whether she's polishing trophies or stamping hands, Madeline can always be found helping out with a smile on her face.
When I started, I was just ordering fruit baskets for all the adjudicators that came up, because we have 13 of them. And so I ordered the fruit baskets, picked them up, and brought them to the hotel so they would be there for them when they got there. And then gradually worked my way up to selling tickets, to being behind the scenes, writing for the adjudicators. And 3 years ago, I became the chairperson.
She's been the president of the Chilliwack Lions Club. I think she's had most every position of the Chilliwack Lions Club since she's been a member, I think, for more than 10 years now. And she's just a great leader, and she inspires me to be a better volunteer.
According to the generous volunteer, the past 10 years of giving back has had its fair share of rewards. Most importantly, her self-improvement.
I was a very quiet person, and once you start working with people and you start having to give a little bit of yourself, pretty soon you're stepping out of your comfort zone and doing things that maybe you never thought that you would do, and all of a sudden you are doing them, and you gain confidence. And like I say, it's given me a good feeling because I'm giving back. My daughters, they were dancing when they were young, and so now I'm helping some of the young dancers myself. So, you know, it's a good feeling.
Oh, tremendously. And I have grown with her. In the way she has taught me different things about the festival, and that's why I'm head cashier for every afternoon and every evening this year while it's on.
If anyone has any time on their hands, the best thing you can do is to get out and volunteer.
From the Chilliwack Lions Club, I'm Danny Gonsalves.
The party is not over yet. After the break, we find out how building homes is an investment that keeps on giving. And in a community where 33% of the population can't read, we meet the volunteers who are trying to change that.